Hey y'all, it's your girl Alana J, and I'm here to tell you about all the magic that is happening at Bravery Studios, New Jersey's #1 podcast recording studio. At Bravery Studios, you handle all the talking and they do the rest. That's it. Seriously, all you have to do is show up and shine. Yes, honey, work. With 3 different filming locations, there's a perfect space for every type of podcast. From cozy chats to high-energy shows, Bravery has got you covered. But wait, there's more. Bravery Studios hosts monthly events and podcast gatherings, perfect for networking and connecting with fellow creators. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Bravery Studios and let's make some podcast magic together. Do it. Come on. You know you want to. You know you want to.
Well, remember you were about to be in a Zion and Lennox song.
Bitch, we'll talk about that. Lennox, dame ma leche. Dame mi leche. Papi, dame leche. It's really good. Mi gente, my people. It's another episode.
Were those gunshots?
Maybe. Everybody down! Everybody down! Shit is wildin' right now. Yo.
Only appropriate.
Only appropriate.
Because I'm a G.
My guest is a G, and we got some guns. And on this episode, we are gonna have fun. Oh, I don't got
bars.
Any more. Baby bars. But y'all already know what it is. We're already doing it. It's another episode of Act Up with me, Alana J, you know, because I be acting up. And today...
How appropriate.
Right? I've had this title in my brain for like over 10 years.
Yes.
And I remember talking to somebody about it, and they were like, I don't know. And I was like... I'm not trying to be corporate right now. We trying to be authentic. But anyway, on that note, speaking of authenticity, speaking of being a G, I'm so excited to have my guest here today. Y'all, she's a friend. She is a digital marketing maven. That's the right word, right? Do I need to Webster Dictionary that shit? I be saying the wrong word sometimes. It's fine.
You good.
Digital marketing maven. Music professional. A&R professional. All right? Former, shit, I almost broke the mic. See how hype I'm getting? Former radio personality on La Mega. It was La Mega?
Yes.
It was La Mega. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm too much tension. We got to release the tension because, ladies and gentlemen, there's none of those here. Introducing Melissa Sweets.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
It's been a long time, but I'm glad that we're here.
I am so glad that we're here.
It's been like maybe 2 years since I saw you.
See, the thing is, this is the first time, and I don't know how long that I've seen you in the state of New Jersey,
Right.
or in the
Because
greater.
last time it was Puerto Rico.
Last time it was in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And Melissa, why don't we just tell the people what we were doing in Puerto Rico when I saw you last? I was on vacation with my mother and my nephew for their birthdays. Well, and my sister-in-law and my brother, they count too.
Yes.
They made my nephew, so they count. That's why I was there, but...
Yes. So I was there because of work. I was working with Zion and Lennox at the time. And I was their label manager. And we were I'm sorry. This was after. They actually hired me to be their marketing person for a while. So this was after Warner. And we flew out to Puerto Rico to finish an album. Mm-hmm. And I saw that you were there too, and we just reached out to each other, and I was like, come over to Zion and Lennox's house, you know?
Can you imagine? I am in San Juan with my family, and I hadn't seen Melissa, and I don't even know how long at that time, because it was post Punani, you know, post pandemic, all of that. I definitely didn't see you in the Punani. I don't know when I saw you prior to Puerto Rico, but I'm like, serendipitous. We're both here at the same time, and she in the studio right now. We out. I was like, Mom, bro, this might be my chance. You know, I might fuck around and not come back. Y'all might just leave me here.
And let me tell you, you left such an impression. They loved you so much, especially Lennox. Oh my God, he was like, esa chica Pícara.
Picara. What is that? Can we translate that
It's
for me?
basically like you've got spunk. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So much so that my voice lived on a track I never heard.
Yeah, it never came to fruition, but there is some song with a feature with Alana.
Yes.
In a Zion and Lennox track.
Yes, and you guys want to know what I said? You can't reply, so I'm going to tell you. I'm sure you're like, yeah, we want to know. I said something like, papi, dame leche. Right?
It was very, very, yes, reggaeton, female, horny voice.
Exactly. A little reggaeton raunch.
Yes.
On behalf of Alana J.
Herrero.
It's funny because I was with somebody else recently who makes music, and I told him that story. He's Dominican. Not that that matters, but he's Dominican as hell. Dominican. And I dropped, and I was like, oh yeah, I said this, Bobby Dame Leche, whatever. He was like, oh shit. He was like, that was really believable. I was like, I don't know how to take that, but thank you for acknowledging my commitment to the role.
Well, I mean, ad-libs are important, I think.
Especially on reggaeton.
Yes. All of those. So, and then I think I also did something too with one of the tracks, but it never made it to fruition either. But it's fine. I had also my little, feature, right? Because there was no girl. After you left, they needed another girl, and I was the only one there. So they're like, guess what, Mel? We're going to use you. I was like, okay.
Nice.
Never in my life did I think that would be something that I would be doing when I first started,
Yeah.
So.
But weren't you in like some music videos and stuff back in the day too? Didn't you make some appearances in some?
Juan Bago.
I know Juan Bago, yes.
So initially he was one of the first, to do like comedian, influencer stuff, right? Like he was on
like
YouTube.
Music wise or
in
general?
Doing like music parodies. Right?
Yes.
So he was like one of the first. It was like 2009. This is how old I am, right? But he was doing some parodies and he needed girls for the video shoot, and I jumped on with him. And so there are videos out there of me as a tique, bottle host and like sexy outfit vibe. Like I'll never do that again. But
like actually do that job or do the music video?
No, the music video vixen thing. That was very short lived. Yeah. Because when you're young and you want to take any opportunity, right? You think that anything will help you, but then you realize you have to be selective a little bit, especially with the journey and what you want to do and how you want people to look at you in the future and stuff like that. Because, I've definitely gotten someone been like, Mel, I've seen you in that video. Like, fuck.
But yo, shout out to Juan Bago real quick and Room 28 Comedy. Rachel La Loca was on the show. She was a part of Room 28 as well. And like me and Rachel were just talking about that last week. We were just talking about the success that their parodies had.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna say I can't say much right now, but
he gave a lot of people opportunities too, and like he was doing stuff that back then it wasn't a thing with Latinos,
Right.
So I'm very thankful for it. I got a lot of experience and I look good in the video. So
hell yeah. you better do a little Google of Melissa Sweets and whatever the parody you'll find it. You'll find it. You will definitely find it. No.
And it's crazy now that you comes full circle. You're working with Rachel and that whole crew, Latinos Out Loud.
Yeah, shout out.
I love them. They're awesome.
I shouted out that shout out.
I sent Juan Bago a little Happy Father's Day text here and there.
Yeah. No, they really were like the first to do what they did for New York Latinos specifically, but it resonated on a macro level.
Yep.
That they fucking hit it. Y'all hit it, and like I was a fan of theirs before I ever worked with any of them. And Vago gave me a couple of my first opportunities, just being an extra and like a pilot. But still, he put money in my pocket. You know, Rachel always puts money in my pocket. So, and they're really big about like nurturing the next generation. And I'm trying to be like them. I'm gonna say it with my chest. I love y'all. Mwah, pesos. That's it. But it's true. It's true. I always
knew that you were gonna do something.
Girl.
You know, when I first met you, I was like, she has way
Something is-
too much freaking energy.
Yeah. And you knew me before I was sober. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
That never bothered me. Like, I never thought that when you told your whole story,
Yeah.
I never thought of you like that.
Yeah.
You always seem normal to me.
Yeah, I was definitely high functioning.
True.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I was like, do you remember any times? Because we used to go to parties together, both for like networking purposes, but also like for work, technically.
Right. We got paid to party.
Yeah, we got paid to party, y'all. I mean, it show enough was. Especially for a little lush like myself back then. I don't feel like I ever acted out though in your presence.
No.
No?
I never. No.
No recollection.
No,
okay.
no.
Because I was talking to not my guest from last week, but the week before, Sibel, because she met me when I was still wowing on the Allen, and I was like, yeah, like I was questioning my sexuality for a while after I stopped drinking, because I would always wind up doing gay shit when I was messed up. I'm just like, literally, when I stopped drinking, I was like, do I need to like have a conversation with myself, which is fine, whatever. Sexuality is a spectrum, but real talk. So if I ever harassed you.
No.
Okay, good.
Never.
That's good. Because I know I have.
Now I'm scared. Why haven't you harassed me? Because do you not like me?
That flipped itself on its head now, didn't it? Now, Melissa's beautiful, okay? Like, if I was gay all day, forget it. You know what I mean? Depending on the day, I'm a little more gay. But, it's the Lord's Day.
I love the side that you're bringing out of me.
Oh, my God. So where do I go from here, y'all? What did I just open? What did I just open? I feel like the gates, the water, Moses, the river, it's all happening right now.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so we've done so much different shit together, I feel.
I know.
I mean, mostly music, radio.
Yes.
You were on a show. Let's talk a little bit about your radio journey a little bit.
I mean, I started pretty much right before the blog thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started on La Mega. I wanted to get on radio. I wanted to do the whole, be the next Angie Martinez vibe,
Yup.
right?
Yup. We all did. I've said it like thrice on this show. I wanted to take her job, but that's not going to happen until she dies. So that's how it is in radio.
Unfortunately.
Not that I want her to die.
Not that she has to die, but like, it's a very gatekeeper situation, right? And then you also have to make your own lane. I've learned so much that like, like she made a lane for herself because there wasn't that before, right? We all have to make our own lane, and what you're doing right now, where I'm at in my career right now. So I initially started because I wanted to do radio, and now I'm like a music exec, like, so that really just changed into that because I saw a need in the radio world for marketing, and people weren't really using social media like they should back then. And
the radio stations themselves, or the artists?
The radio stations themselves.
Got you.
So I saw a window there to like be like, hey, I'm gonna do your social media. I'm gonna help you with this. And I was one of the first to start the blog for La Mega, and blogging and stuff like that. And then, after Strawberry Blunt, right, me and DJ Enough kept in contact, and he needed help with social media. So that's how I started working with him. And then I started helping him produce the Sirius XM show, the Heavy Hitter show on Shade 45.
Yes, and you were also on that show.
Yeah. So I was there with him and Navani, another radio host. I don't know if you know Navani too, también puertorriqueña. But
not by name, but
no.
Listen, I've done the memory. The memory's been tampered with.
Yeah. But good times, and that really like I was always doing like Latin and hip hop, but not on purpose. It just so happened because I started in La Mega, and I ended up working with Enough at Hot 97, and then Shade 45, and doing the hip hop there. And eventually from there, I started going to Miami a lot. And I made friends with someone that I admire so much, who's now like my best friend. And she was an entertainment lawyer. She is an entertainment lawyer for a lot of these reggaeton artists. And
was she in Puerto Rico?
No.
Well, that was a publicist.
No,
I think you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Else, yeah.
All right.
And
see, I want to be knowing people. I don't know everyone. Okay.
So she, she was like, why don't you do the Latin stuff, like for real, on the music side? And I'm like, you know what? I would love to. And there was a need for it because, things were crossing over, right? So now the hip hop was mixing with the reggaeton and vice versa, and there was features. So, I had that experience where, we're Latinos. We're so versatile. We grew up with the salsa and the merengue with our parents, and then in the streets, we were listening to the hardcore shit,
Yeah.
So...
In the streets, in the basements, in the church basements.
Las marquesinas, how the Puerto Ricans say, the house parties. So that was a big thing. And my parents, I don't know about yours, but they wanted me to be a lawyer, a doctor, and scientist and all this stuff. And
yeah.
Cool.
Same.
I would love that for my son too. But it's not how the world, you want to do what you want to do. And I just,
passion wasn't really an option.
Yeah, my parents were like, what are you doing when Strawberry Blunt was happening?
Yeah.
And we were just partying for a living. They were like, what do you do? And I was like, Mom, I build websites.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to explain what social media was to her back then.
Yeah. It's just, and I feel like we've talked about this offline. I talked about this with another former Strawberry Blunt girl recently. Just like, I did get a lot of that too. Like, what the hell is this? But at the same time, it was such a force. It was like ahead of its time. It was such a powerful movement, like we don't have to talk too much about it because, I know, your co-founder has moved on, and completely rebranded and all of that. And I'm so fucking proud of her as well. But it was really like digital marketing. Like we are a bunch of attractive women, there was like 20, 30 of us.
Yeah, I think it was 40 at one point.
40, like blogging,
interviewing, radio shows.
We were
parties, hosting.
It was a movement, It really was a movement.
Yes, it was. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best times of my life. But, life gets better.
Yeah.
Right? I think that it all led to what we are now.
Yeah.
And we've all grown up so much, and we just didn't know how to make money with that back then.
Yeah.
It was tough. We were breaking boundaries, and
for free 99.
Basically.
Yeah.
But we put a lot of these artists that are big now on the map. I mean, Smoke DZA, Nitty Scott.
Yes.
We were one of the first to discover them and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
And the way that it worked was every single blog post that went up on the site was tweeted out of all of our accounts.
Yes.
So we'd have the hashtag. We'd have the hashtag and the person mentioned, the artist mentioned like 40 fucking times.
What really blew us up? What post? Because I'll never forget it.
Yes, please.
Remember when Chris Brown posted his dick pic?
Yes, I do. I didn't see it.
Back in the day.
I didn't see the dick pic.
No, I didn't.
He posted it on social media?
I don't know. There was a leak.
There was a leak.
Right?
There was a leak.
And we were one of the first to break it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, one of the girls blogged about it.
Uh-huh.
And imagine, because we used to tag Chris Brown.
Yes.
So Chris Brown got tagged on his own dick pic from our blog. And he was like, who the fuck are these bitches promoting that?
Wow. We came up off a dick pic. That's crazy.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, family, whoever's listening to it.
I mean, it's not.
I swear I have morals.
You didn't write it. She didn't write the blog. I didn't write the blog. But you know what? It got twatted out. It got twatted out of the Twitter feed. Chris Brown was mentioned 50 times.
Oh my God.
And that was it. That was
our strategy. And then all the other blogs started copying.
And that's kind of what social media feeds off of now to this day.
I would say we were one of the first influencers before influencers were a thing.
Yeah.
We just didn't know how to make money yet.
Right. We were early.
We were super early. Yeah.
Coño! It's all right. We're here.
Exactly.
We're here. And
I love telling that story.
It's an epic story, and it was an epic time.
Yes.
But anyway, now that I'm getting all nostalgic, because did we meet by me just applying to be a Strawberry Blunt girl? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
she applied, and I was like, we need to have her.
They needed me. They needed. I loved it. And anyway, I'm like remembering how I felt during that time because it was such a transitional time for me. Like I was recently out of college, you know. I low-key found like my swag and my aesthetic through Strawberry Blunt, you know? Like I wasn't into fashion like that. I mean, I'm still not really into fashion, but you know, fucking high-waisted leggings and a crop top. You know what I mean? That's still my uniform. Or high-waisted jeans and a crop top, you know, because the high waist that makes my legs look longer. Not because I want y'all to see my stomach, but because it makes my legs look longer, okay? Anyway, I'll be Winnie the Pooh if I want to. Anyway.
I feel like Winnie the Pooh all the time when I wear a crop top.
Yo, but Winnie the Pooh's a legend, bro. Winnie the Pooh's an icon.
Wear pants.
No pants zone. You know, I wish. I mean, I'm not wearing pants right now, but
okay, now I want to interview you. What made you get into the acting and the? Honestly, I've always thought you could do stand up. So you've always been funny, you know.
Thank you.
So what made you get into the stand up?
The acting or the stand-up, or both?
Both.
So, really, it was shortly after Strawberry Blunt was no more. I remember looking for jobs in corporate, you know? I'm like, what do I do with my life? And I was miserable and drinking. I would fall asleep drinking wine. I literally have stains on my mattress to this day from falling asleep, drinking myself to sleep. And I was just like, this isn't it. This isn't it, you know? Right. So I was just like, I'm going to go back to waiting tables because I know I'm good at that. And I know that can be lucrative, you know, it's just a little exhausting. Yeah. But, you know, I was fucking mad young. Right. And really it was just, I wound up working at a restaurant where basically everyone was an actor. All of the servers were actors in the city, in New York. It's called Lure Fish Bar. Seafood, everything, sushi, fucking delicious. Quite pricey, but it's worth it. Oh, is that me? Oh well. No, it's all good. So everybody that I worked with was an actor. And I was like, well, I'm lost in the sauce. I'm going to take an acting class. Why not? You know what I mean? And also, a lot of people that I served assumed I, too, was an actor. So I was like, you know, I know that there's that stigma, but I'm like, literally everyone thinks that I'm an actor. So I think I'm going to just take a class and see what happens. And I literally took a class, and I never stopped taking classes. That's pretty much...
You went full throttle.
Yeah. I was just like, I think I can do this. And I enjoyed it. And, yeah, it was... I learned so much about myself while studying acting. Things that I don't think, I mean, maybe now I would know them, right. But at those times, I did not have the awareness. I did not have the consciousness to identify good things, bad things, all the things, you know? And also at the same time, I wound up, essentially the universe was sending sober people into my life.
Okay.
That's what happened at the same time. And I was like, wait a minute. This acting teacher sober. This acting teacher sober. This friend of mine who is now extremely successful. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not. I'll tell you after the show. Celebrity. He was sober. And we were in acting class together. And I felt like that was a sign.
Yes.
So I also wound up getting sober as a result of surrounding myself with those people. And then as far as stand-up goes, it was always something that I was interested in. But especially when I stopped drinking, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this sober. Because by the time I started doing stand-up, I had already studied improv. Girl, I would take 6 shots of vodka to get on stage. Oof. No joke. I remember going to the bar next door. For the handful of improv shows I did pre-sobriety, I would go to the bar next door at the former UCB on the Lower East Side, go to the bar next door and rip 6 shots of vodka. And literally, I'm not exact, at least 6. And 1, not be drunk, but 2, you know, that's how I had to get on stage.
I did improv at UCB too.
Yeah?
With Cypher Sound.
Yes! I remember you posting about it. That was long before...
I loved it.
That was long before I did any of that stuff.
I think you're so brave. I think what you do. No, it's not easy. It's honestly, it's not easy because I I mean, I've been up there with the DJs hosting, right? I've gone on stage. I've done the conferences, the panels and stuff like that. And, in my new, coming up soon, I'm going to be doing that too for a new job that I'm going to start,
Okay, shout out to the new job.
Yes, I don't want to say anything yet because I don't want to curse it or anything.
Right. No, I feel that.
But like that's gonna be my job, is to be upstage in front of people, or whatever. And I've never had an issue with public speaking.
Nope.
But to have the balls to like act and be somebody else, right, and play this role and whatnot, that's really hard. Like that's not easy. And then the stand up too, like I'd probably pee on myself. So I give you a lot of props for that. And it's honestly something that I admire a lot from you. And, you inspire me too, Alana, like even coming to this podcast, right? Because
which I gave her the wrong address too by accident at first.
It's okay. But it's like, it's been such a long time since I've actually gotten back on the mic, so to say.
I did that.
A lot of, I think a lot of people can relate to this. You overthink things. You're worried what people are going to think, what they're going to say about you. So that fear alone stops you from doing anything.
Absolutely. It's paralyzing.
And I feel like, yes, I came from radio background, but it's so funny when you get into the music industry for real, where you're like in the music exec role and there's others. And then there's people that have gone to school for this, that have a degree in music business, right? Their mother's father's sister, the whole family was in the music business, right? So they grew up on it. But yet here you are coming from radio, and you had a little blog that had a little bit of success, right? And you've always been a hustler on your own doing the music stuff. So now you feel like I don't even want to like I still want to be the personality I've always been.
Yeah.
But I'm scared of what those people in the music industry are going to think about me.
The execs.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so I stopped being myself for a long time when I got to Miami, and I just kind of lost myself behind the artist, because you're
behind the artists you were
working with.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like when you're in that role, they are the star, you kind of have to be behind the scenes. You have to be, so, but it's hard for me because I like the camera. I like talking. I like the interview side,
Absolutely. And you're amazing at it. I mean, can we just really quickly, Jay-Z told Cypher Sounds never to name drop, but I think we should name drop, shout out to Cypher Sounds. I think we should name drop some of the people, because you've interviewed some heavy fucking hitters in your career.
I did. It's been quite the ride. One of the ones that I've claim to fame that I love, like when I Mobb Deep before he passed, Prodigy, that was amazing, was
that for Strawberry Blunt or for something else?
That was for Strawberry Blunt. And then there's been a lot of artists, especially on the Latin side, that I've interviewed. So one of the ones that right now is blowing the hell up is Cash Cobain. You've heard of Cash Cobain, yes? No. She said, Okay.
I like the name though.
Yeah, Cash Cobain is in the drill scene in New York.
Okay.
Very much up there right now with Ice Spice, right?
Oh,
It's like the young drill New York scene from the Bronx.
Got you.
And I interviewed him back in 2018, and I knew he was going to be a star. I knew he was going to blow up, because what he was doing was he was taking songs like Biggie's Get Money, right, and turning that into a sample and creating his own thing, right? And he was using the Lauryn Hill samples and turning that into his own thing. And I just knew he was going to be a star. And I interviewed him, and that interview still like gets played now.
Wow.
And now ever so, because he's blowing the fuck up right now.
And that was from 6 years ago.
And that was from 6 years ago.
And that was for yourself.
That was for myself. You know.
I love that. I love that you do that too.
So it's been a while, and like seeing you now doing this, like it's really inspiring. And it's just my father passed away too, and that really messed me up.
Yeah.
And then I was in a really toxic relationship. And then I moved to Miami, and it was totally different, So I just kind of like lost myself. Yeah. I wasn't an alcoholic, but, I was definitely smoking a lot of weed to get through shit, But then
little numbing agent.
Right. But now, I think what changed for me was being in Miami and seeing how much it helped my son grow, you know, and you're a single mom in Miami, new city, right? New job, new career, right?
And then you were, when you moved to Miami, when you moved to Miami, it was for Warner.
Right.
Music.
Warner moved me out there to
Warner
work
Music.
on their urban Latin artists. And, you know, it was tough. I didn't have anybody to help me. You know, for so long, my father was the one that helped me. And that was why I was able to do Strawberry Blonde.
Yeah.
Because basically, my son grew up in the industry with me. He was born in 2007. I started interning at La Mega 2008. You know? So my dad carried me the whole way. And now I'm in a new city in Miami working with 15 artists and 15 management teams.
Oof.
And it was tough. And now I still wanted to be a good mom and make sure my son was doing his wrestling thing.
Yeah, she's a wrestling mom, y'all.
Oh my God. But seeing him go to work, waking up 4 a.m, practicing, right? And then after that, tournaments. And then, you know, we just never stopped. And I was like, and I'm just not taking care of my health. I was like, I need to fucking change. So you know what? Now I'm going to start waking up with my son at 4 a.m. and start working out. And that changed my life. I joined the 5 a.m. club.
Woo!
So the 5 a.m. club is a very exclusive club. Because it's fucking hard to wake up at that time.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You know?
Every day, every single day, 7 days a week?
Every single day. Every single day. And,
Good for you.
And that helped me, honestly, regroup and become more confident in myself, lose the weight. I was pre-diabetic, you know? So funny how ironic Melissa Sweets with diabetes.
Oh my God. Melissa Sweets. A little too
but
sweet.
I was like, no, I don't want to be Melissa Sweets.
No.
You know, I want to be
Not that kind of sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the blood sugar too sweet.
Yeah. So it's been quite the journey, and you know, I'm looking forward to what's coming next. So
Absolutely. Oh my God.
And that's a big reason why I'm here in New Jersey.
Yes.
Because my son got a scholarship to a really dope college in Pennsylvania.
to
we're gonna-
college.
Yeah.
He's already going to college.
No, next year. He's gonna be a senior, but he's already getting offers because of the wrestling.
Okay,
So-
getting offers.
Yeah.
Okay, Evan getting offers.
I know. So on Monday we're gonna go check out the college, and then he's been training with some really dope coaches out here. And you know, I'm remote, so why not spend the summer here in Jersey?
Yeah.
You know, and then probably when I get back in August, I'm gonna stay my ass in Miami because I kind of feel like I haven't given Miami a chance.
Well, I mean, you know, coming from up here.
Going back and forth. I don't know. I love Jersey. I do.
Jersey
you know?
is dope.
Yeah.
Jersey is dope. I was actually just reading some, you know, those Facebook posts about shit that are like this fucking long. You know what I mean?
Like a CVS receipt.
Like, exactly. All about Jersey facts, you know, talking about how Jersey is, you know, #1 in, this is a terrible example, but in like chemical manufacturing, if you include pharmaceuticals, it's like, oh, that tracks.
Pollution.
But good stuff too. Like apparently Jersey has the strictest rules for testing the water. So I guess like to make sure it's safe to swim in, which I'm like, oh, that's good to know. I guess I shouldn't complain about having to pay to go to the beach. Anyway, just a bunch of information. So
That makes a lot of sense. And I hate that we do have to pay to go to the beach.
only on the weekends though, right? And like in
don't know.
peak hours. I don't know. I haven't been down the shore in a while. So
But that's the thing about Miami. Now I'm gonna get real Florida on you. When you've been to the beach in Miami, you don't go to the beach in Jersey.
I mean, if we're being real, you know, when you've been to the beach in Honolulu.
Guess what Jersey is
I was in
number one
Honolulu.
for, and the only one in the United States.
What?
We don't pump gas out here.
We don't. We don't pump gas.
We're the
We don't
only
pump
state
gas.
in the 50s United States that we're the only ones. Do you know why?
Oh, no.
So
Safety?
I don't know why I know this, but yes. So apparently, there was a big fire that happened because of a gas leak with a kid involved,
Oh.
and so
Gotta protect
a
the
mom,
kids.
you know, moms be momming.
Moms be.
She rallied up and put into law that you can't pump your own gas, and we're the only state that has ever changed that. Wow. So never changed that.
Wow. The more you know.
Right?
The more you know. No, I think it's valid, you know, because Jersey might be great, but there's some stupid motherfuckers out here in these streets too. So, but that's everywhere. That's everywhere, you know. I just came from Louisiana where they got drive-thrus for margaritas.
I can only imagine what you were like in Louisiana.
Oh, I was a student.
No, I know, but I'm saying like your personality in Louisiana, like amazing.
It would, you know, it's interesting, especially because
I lived in Houston for a little bit, and that was different.
Weren't you born? Didn't you born in Texas? Were you born in Texas?
No. I grew up Jersey, full. And then when I was 14, my parents were like, "We're moving to Texas." I was like, "What?
¿Por qué?
Horses and tumbleweed?" And yeah,
and
we
tacos?
moved to Houston, but it was cool. So, and it's but you know, being in Louisiana, it's different.
It's different. I like Houston. I fucks with Houston heavily. I mean, the weather, it was a little too hot at some points. It was like over 100 while I was there. And I was like...
Yeah, you could boil eggs on the freaking
absolutely
pavement.
Fucking... I was boiling shit. I was a thick and nugget. You know what I'm saying? I was just extra crispy, you know? Anyway, but okay, we just went all over the place. And I love that. I love that journey so much. I did kind of want to go back to Evan.
Yeah.
Because when this kind of has happened... Kids are amazing. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are fucking amazing. You know, kids are like a reminder of like what you can do in a short amount of time if you just fucking do it. You know? You know?
That is, wow, you sound like Buddha.
Rub my tummy for some luck, son. The tummy's a little tummying, but it's fine. That's why we're sitting down.
Philosophical.
Love that. I love being a philosopher. Like I've seen it. I saw when he was not a baby, but you know, does he want to be what? When did wrestling become like the thing he did, and what does he want to do?
I was always a very sporty girl. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was in high school, I did everything I could possibly do: basketball, swimming, you know, track. Like I did everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I did. Passing the baton. Go ahead, girl.
And I was like, you know, I wanted the same. I know how good sports can be for a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it shows you discipline. It, you know, keeps you on your toes. You build a community with your teammates, you know? And I wanted the same for my kid, you know, being a single mom. And I knew that I'm a workaholic, you know, like I had no choice, right? I've always been a hustler and want better.
Love that self-awareness.
I felt like him being in a sports program would be great for him and for me, because then, you know, then it would show him some discipline and whatever. And I put him in everything I could possibly think of, just like how I did. So we did soccer, we did the football, we did the swimming, we did the track.
Okay.
We tried wrestling, and wrestling was the one that stuck. Like, I don't know what it was, but he loved being under some armpits, you know?
Pit inspector, take a woof. I mean, shit, being under an armpit alone might knock somebody out.
Oh no, and I'll never forget when he was younger, because you know when you're younger and you're 8 years old, you're kind of little baby fat, right?
Yeah.
And so you had to wear that onesie tighty thing. What's it called?
Wrestle?
The singlet. The singlet.
That's what they call it, a singlet. Y'all, I'm sorry, y'all wearing a fucking leotard, okay? It's a fucking leotard, fucking singlet.
And he would be so insecure about wearing it. You know what I'm saying? But. You know, it's just stuck. He just loved it. He loved we lost a lot. You know, like anything that you start, you know? But
oh, you mean he lost a lot of fights?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was 100%. Like, damn.
A lot of losing in the beginning, but then you get your confidence up, and then he just started winning everything, and that was, you know, it's really satisfying. And then I feel like his coach, especially the one in Miami, like he's become like a father figure to Evan, you know? And they have a really special relationship. And they love Evan, and even the coach here that's in Jersey. Shout outs to Red Nose Wrestling. He loves Evan, you know, and he really like he won't let me pay him, you know, to train Evan. He's like, I just really like your kid, man, and I want him to be successful. So that shit, like,
wow,
you know,
I want to cry. That's not even my kid.
Yeah, I know.
It's so beautiful.
I'm very lucky, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm really lucky to have a kid like Evan.
Wow. He's got you in the gym.
Yes.
When you were posting about that shit got me a little misty. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, that is...
We work out together. You know, he's my personal trainer.
I love that. I trained my mom a little bit during lockdown shit. My mom could do shit that some of my clients less than half her age. My mom could do shit that... Does that make sense? Less than half her age? Yeah. That people less than half her age...
Yes.
Couldn't do.
Well, this is why I'm also working out. Okay, so like... We're going to get old,
Yeah.
Right? Eventually.
Yep. It's happening.
Not right now. But we want to be able to fucking lift and squat and twerk when I want to twerk when I'm 70.
Yeah, shake
You know
that
what I'm
ass.
saying?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
we're not gonna be able to if we don't start working out now.
I mean, it's a whole fact because, obviously, I also personal train. All
Do
this I
you?
do. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I was doing.
Alana, let's work out together.
We can work out together. Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that
God.
you went to the gym with Hala. I was like, I want to be there. I want to be there. Especially because, like when I was in Louisiana, when I was in school,
What else is there to do?
I went from working out like 10 hours a week,
Yeah.
maybe more, to working out like. And mind you, my program was a little active, but like going to the actual gym, I was only going.
You're saying you were too busy to work out.
I mean, busy, tired, emotional, because like what people don't understand about being in an acting master's
Takes a lot
program
out of you.
is that like acting, if you're doing it right, it requires all of your mental, physical, emotional, all of it. It's like, okay, my body does not know the difference between whether or not I'm actually losing somebody. You know what I mean?
100%.
Your nervous system does not know the difference between a daydream about something terrible and the actual experience. Like your nervous system is registering it as grief. You're grieving.
Right.
So it's like, I'm really grateful that I did go to my program, even though AI is currently learning how to act. Fuck AI. No, I'm just kidding. AI is great for certain things, but don't act. Don't act. Let me do that, please. At least for a little while longer. Pero, yeah, so I was just like, it wasn't, not everything can be number one at once.
Yes, 100%.
Not everything can be number one at once. So my developing myself as an artist was number one. And, I remember having a conscious realization at the gym, like the week before I moved. I was like, this has been my number one priority. Like the way that I've been in the gym is now the way that I'm going to be
acting.
On stage or whatever the case. And so all that to say, it's been a bit of a challenge for me to get back to where
routine.
I was.
Yeah.
To the routine, to even just pushing myself the way that I used to.
But it's okay. You'll get back to it. And me being in Jersey also, it fucks up my routine because when
traveling.
I'm in Miami, we wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. Here it's the summer, there's no school, right? So now I'm waking up 9, 10 a.m., go to the gym. There's also work to be done. Like my parents need stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need to see my friends.
Right.
Because when I'm in Miami, like I'm focused.
Yeah.
Like it's work, my son, myself, and here now it's like I got to see my friends, I got to hang out, I got to see my cousins, distractions,
Right.
So am I going as hard as I want to be right now this summer for the gym? No, but I'm gonna get back to it.
Right. And
that's life.
That is life. And it's also, the number one, I read this somewhere, so I don't know how accurate it is. The internet be interneting, but the number one variable in a woman's longevity in her lifespan is having friendships with other women. Is having solid
Oh my God, it's so true.
friendships with other women.
Humans need connection.
Yeah.
We will die sooner if we are lonely.
Yes.
It's proven.
Yes, it is proven. I mean, look at the Punani. Like, it's not funny, but suicide was up over, like whether accidental or it was crazy. Anyway, let's get back to a light and fluffy note, shall we? How are we? Okay, we're good. We still have a little bit of time. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about Evan again because my boyfriend the other night, shout out to Dwayne, took me to a WWE event at the Madison Square Garden. At the Madison Square Garden. What am I? At Madison Square Garden. Fuck, I need to drink more of my coffee. Anyway, and I was like, I wonder if that's what Evan wants. Like, it made me think of your son. And it also made me think of, like, the loyalty of those fans. That shit was wild. It was it was sold out. It was all the way sold out, this event. And these people just, they know all these wrestlers' catchphrases. It's like a religion. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm in the cult now. I've been in a few cults, but I'm like, this is it was fascinating to me.
So I don't want to sound like a bougie bitch.
Please do. I love me a little bouginess.
But WWE is not what my son does.
Okay.
Right? Why? Because WWE is like a stunt. Like, you know, stunt doubles on an acting thing.
Right.
It's all a show. It's for entertainment. Yes, they're wrestlers, but it's not. What my son does is completely different. Like, you're getting hurt. Like, you're getting cauliflower in your ear. Do you know what that is?
I do know what that is.
From your ear rubbing on the mat so much.
It's not cute. I'm sorry for any of you.
Cute. My son now has that. And he's proud of it. He's like, Mom, look. I got
shit.
messed up ears. I'm like, okay, pa.
This is my rite of passage.
He's more on, like, he wants to get Olympic with it.
Okay.
Like, that's what he wants to do. You know, and when I try to get him into WWE, I've tried. When he was younger, he's like, Mom, that's fake.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, my bad. Okay. You know, and I'm like, but that's not what he would rather do, like MMA, fighting, right? Like, you know, you've seen on the TV when these wrestlers, these fighters, I think it's called MMA, right?
Mixed martial arts? Or
no,
UFC?
The UFC. There we go. Yes. He's like, Mom, I want to do that.
That's what they be doing?
I'm like, you want to die?
That's what they be doing on UFC? Is it MMA or is it something else? It's MMA?
Yeah, MMA,
okay.
yeah. He loves that. And I'm like, Ba, you're going to get killed. He's like, let's do it.
Oh, my God. He's a freaking gladiator, this kid.
Basically.
This kid.
You know? So I'm like, okay. Like, the other day we went to a jiu-jitsu training camp, and he loved it, you know? So, like...
Marv got jiu-jitsu'd on last night, apparently. Yeah, some girl put him in a headlock. And
I figured it was a sexual connotation.
No, it was... I mean, I think it may have been a little bit. I think it was like, oh, I want to see what you could do, and then it was like, oh, I like that. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are on point with these things.
Yes, he is. I don't want to speak too much for him, but it was relevant.
You know, watching a master at work.
Interesting. Yeah. So you know, I mean, it's a great point to bring up the WWE, because I think people, you know, get it misconstrued sometimes with what real wrestling is. But, you know, it's definitely something that, like, oh, you need a lot of discipline to be up somebody's butt smelling that shit. Because it's
discipline.
A lot.
Is it discipline or is it
for than WWE?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I
we've broken fingers already.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
all right.
He's tough.
Not
to say that WWE doesn't get hurt. I'm sure they get hurt.
Yeah.
And I do love those twins. You know what I'm talking about? The Mexican Italian girls.
No.
They're hot. Yeah. Oh, I forgot their name.
There was a good amount of women. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting to see so many women at this shit.
There's a popular twin duo that I really like.
Shout out to the
awesome.
remember WWE twins. Y'all twinning and winning, and we'll figure out who you are after the show. Okay. Let's put a pin in that. I was just fascinated by the whole thing, because very few people also do both, you know. But I know there are people that have. Cool. Other than that, now, what is life like? What is life like now? So, we started with radio. Was it ever an objective to become a music executive, or is this just like kind of where you wound up finding yourself? And
I mean, I've always loved and admired and respected what people in the music industry, like music professionals, do. So I definitely knew that could have been and is a lane for me, especially because I felt like radio was just dying. It wasn't paying what I wanted it to pay. Sometimes I did feel like I was, you know, just over partying, you know, and going, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
going
I do.
to events.
Yes, I do.
And I've never had a problem with alcoholism.
Yeah.
But when you get to a point where, like, it's affecting your sleep and you're not eating right and you're, you know, like, it was just like, what am I doing? You know? But I saw a lane, you know, like in the marketing world where you know, a lot of this is also, can you bring value?
Right.
You know, and what was I bringing to the table? You know, what could I do to make this work for me? And, you know, I worked for free for a long time, and that was, you know, you look so cool on the outside, but on the inside, you're like, yeah, I'm not making $1.
Yup. Been there.
Yeah. So then I decided to just take my experience and run with it. Like, I made the right connections. This shit is all about relationships, you know. And I was able to make some really dope connections with people that I would bring value to them, figure out a way to help them, and then they would help me.
So in that capacity, because this is something that I struggle with, like I know that I have so much value that I can bring in many different levels, which, you know, I think I was talking about this with my other guest, Sibel, just like the gift and the curse that is kind of being multifaceted or multi-talented or whatever. But that's not the point. The point is, how were you able to, you know, approach people, especially after doing so much stuff for free, like approach people and be like, hey, how did you pitch yourself to actually start getting some financial benefit from this?
One thing that I signed up to this thing. It was called Creative Circle.
Okay.
Shouts to them.
Are they still a thing?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
Okay.
What they do is they recruit people in the business for creative media jobs and stuff like that, marketing, social media, how to, working with Facebook and big brands. And they basically, these brands go to them, they're like, I need this and this and that. And then they go and search for it. I found them through, I think LinkedIn. This was like 2014.
Okay.
And I had already had the blog experience behind me. And I was also very much a hustler. I was going to your local dentist, your local, dealership. And I was like, I could do your social media. This is what I do for a living. I've built a blog. I worked in radio. And if you need help, I can do it. This is how much I charge. And I would set up packages like, if you need just a standard thing and just regular posting, this is how much it is, and eventually I started getting my own clients that way. I did a plastic surgeon. I did a music teacher. I did a bunch of like local diners and stuff. And I was doing their social media and getting a check for that. And I just figured out that was my way, and getting my experience. And then eventually I found Creative Circle and I was like, this is my resume. This is what I've done. And they started pitching me out for work and I started getting corporate jobs. Like I started doing marketing for LG. And that was really cool because I was the point person between, because they're based out of Korea.
Okay.
And so I was the point person, the middleman between that. And that was amazing because it was like a really high-end luxury line that we launched, LG Signature. And I had to get the influencers for that. And this was like early 2016 and nobody had ever done that before. So that was really fun for me. And then I started working with Leica, which is the German camera brand. They're like a Canon. They're actually the inventors of a 35 millimeter camera. So
that is so interesting.
I know. And I was their digital marketing person and now I'm traveling. I fucking went to Germany and the headquarters and, all because of social media.
Wow.
So I was gaining my experience and I was just, me, I'm a fucking hustler.
Yes, you are.
I was like talking my shit and people liking me and I'm doing your social media and, and I ended up doing all the social media for all the Hudson dealerships, like
the car dealerships.
Hudson Honda.
Yep.
Route 22 Honda. Like, because they're all a conglomerate. It's owned by like one guy named Paul, I think his name is. Whatever.
Hey, Paul.
And now I'm the only girl, telling these rich ass Italian Americans what the fuck to do. And I'm pitching to them and like, dude, we got to do this social media. And I was, I was always figuring out a way to make a check. And then I had a really dope apartment in Boulevard East.
Me gusta.
It was an amazing apartment. I had a view of the city and I was paying dirt cheap for a 2-bedroom, right? And
that's what I'm looking for, okay?
Airbnb started. And I saw Airbnb and I'm like, oh my God, you can rent out your own place and make money? Guess what I'm doing? I turned my shit around. I went on Craigslist and I got all the furniture that I could get to turn my shit around. And I turned it into an Airbnb and I rented it out and I made hella money.
Nice.
Right when Airbnb first started.
Yeah. Wow.
And that helped me and my family out a lot. I was able to, put my parents in a house and all of us like lived together. Like, it was like a 3-story house.
Yeah.
I was on the first floor. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I love that.
And, it's just like my parents, they never saved for retirement. So I take care of them,
Can we get some claps for that? Can we get some claps for that? So where Where were you living when you were Airbnb-ing at first, before you got the house?
I rented out a whole ass house, and I used the Airbnb money to pay for the house.
Got you.
And I had my little cash, my little residual because of it.
Would you ever...
And I was working with DJ Enough at the time.
On Sirius?
Yep.
Straight 45.
And I wasn't getting paid. So that's how I was making my money.
Got
And then I was doing my little clients on the side with social media. You know, the local shops that I told you about, restaurants and stuff like that, and doing their social media. And then I got the gig with Tidal.
What gig was that?
Creative Circle.
Tidal, the streaming service.
Yep,
what gig
yep,
was
yep.
that?
And I was their senior community manager. So now I'm working. Remember when Tidal X had concerts?
Yes.
And they Tidal X Jay-Z, Tidal X J. Cole, Tidal X Rihanna, Tidal X Jeezy. I did all of those. I was in the war room working the Twitter world for Tidal at every single concert. So I was flying out and doing all that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So wait, so
Yeah.
you were live tweeting? Is that what you were doing?
Yes. So I had a team, and I was making sure that they were, you know, tweeting and talking about the concert, and we had a whole content calendar set up, and we had to go, you know, it was like a whole strategic plan on how to deal with each and every single concert.
Got you.
Yeah.
That is lit. I had no
So-
idea that you did that. I remember when they were doing those concerts. Is Tidal around still?
Yeah, they're still around.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you use that to get to your next level. So now, I have Tidal under my belt. It's time to get into the music industry. Wow. So then I started fixing up my resume, and, you know, I was still always interviewing artists. Right? I was doing my little show where I was interviewing in Spanish and English.
My little show.
You know? And yeah, and then from there I got a gig. People started hearing about me again, and I got a gig at Rock Nation.
I remember that.
And I was consulting for them on the Latin side.
Doing A&R, right?
No, that was digital marketing.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you're an artist, Alana, and you need help releasing your song or your album, your EP, whatever. I'm helping you promote it online, right? We're
Gotcha.
doing YouTube ads. We're pitching you to playlists on Spotify, right? We're doing anything that you can possibly do digitally.
Got you.
And we're building your audience, your fans, right?
Yes.
So that, and then I took Rock Nation, started working and consulting for another record label. Remember Immortal Technique? So he had a little label. I was helping him. Cormega, like classic, old school underground rappers. And then I started working for a podcast production company.
When was that?
They're called Adonde Media. So they do the podcast for Duolingo, Spanish, French, English.
I've listened to some of those.
So do you know Martina Castro from NPR? Okay, so that's her podcast company.
Okay.
And so she hired amazing group of talented producers to create, and this is audio storytelling. Now I'm talking like you're listening and you think it's a movie in your ears. And
Wow.
it was just a spectacular editing skills, production skills. I learned a lot from that. And now I'm basically helping them market their podcast. So we did that in Espanol. Have you ever heard of the podcast Song Exploder?
Song Exploder?
Yeah.
No.
So they interview the top of the top artists, and they break down the music and the song and the hit.
Like the science behind why it's a hit?
With the artists. So like just like me and you, but then they break it down.
I need to listen to Song Exploder.
You would love it. You would love it. And it's one of the top podcasts in the world. We turned it into Spanish. En Canción Explorer. So now we're interviewing like, you know, Nathi Peluso and George Drexler, which are like Grammy Award winning. And it's all very high quality, high profile. You know, one of the interviews from Song Exploder, Madonna, you know, so like you should check it out.
I'm going to.
So that was really cool to see behind the scenes of doing like, and this is what I'm talking about, Alana.
Yeah.
I could do this. I could produce the podcast.
Yeah.
I could do all that.
I mean,
But I'm also very tired. It's not easy to do this by yourself.
no. Absolutely not. I mean, that's why I started virtually rather, and then went to grad school, and I was like, I ain't doing this shit during grad school. I got fucking papers to write and read and shit.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So then I did that, and that was prime pandemic because when the pandemic started, I got furloughed from Rock Nation because they let go of all their contractors
Okay.
because the city shut down.
Right.
So this was like March 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm like, shit, I need a job.
Yeah.
So then I started a show. Like everybody started doing shows online because of the pandemic.
Right.
And,
Everybody's home.
we did This is Cultura, and it was me and two Dominicans.
I think I vaguely remember. Was it in Spanish?
Yeah, it was in
Okay.
Spanish, but I was the Spanglish girl.
Okay.
Right? And it was Chocolate, who was like a big radio DJ in Boston, and then DJ Bambino, who's a big party DJ in the DR world.
Okay.
And we did this whole thing, and I started interviewing like a lot of the Dominican, Puerto Rican trap artists. Shout outs to Chucky 73, who's very popular right now. So, you know, I told you I've always been a gangster.
Yeah.
So, so that was really fun. And I worked on that for a little bit. And then I ended up getting that job with Adonde, like I said, and that was fully remote, and I loved it.
Ooh,
and then the pandemic was full throttle, and my dad got really sick, not because of the pandemic, it just so happened.
right.
And then he passed away, and that was really, really bad.
Yeah.
So then I took some time off. I went to Italy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just for you?
Just for me. I sent my kid to a wrestling camp. I was like, bye for like 2 weeks.
Evan's going to camp. Mama's going to camp.
Right.
You know?
And I went to discover myself. You know,
gotta eat,
and-
pray, love sometimes.
Yes,
It's true.
And, you know, it was really fun. Actually met another Polish girl. She was on the same shit, and we became friends. So now we're lifelong friends. She lives in Holland and stuff. I'll probably visit her one day. You
One
know,
day.
cool stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I love solo travel. I feel like you, especially as a woman, you need to do it. You need to do it from time to time.
Absolutely.
Like, I love traveling with my family. Don't get it twisted. You know, my boo, don't get it twisted. But, like, there is something about... The first solo trip I took was to Bali. I was like... Which was kind of out of spite, but I'll tell you that story off the air. Somebody pissed me the fuck off and uninvited me from a trip. So I booked. I was like, you know what? I know you want to go there. Now I'm going to go there by myself.
Ooh, I love that. This is why I like you.
Yeah, you know, I mean...
I'm the same way.
They were like, who are you going to go with? I said, me.
Yep.
I'm not waiting. I don't need you, you know? Anyway,
So important.
I'll tell you who that was later. But yeah, it was, honestly, it was life-changing. Like, my sister-in-law told me, she was like, you came back different, you know? And I wasn't scared until I was there and I was taking a cab from like one place that I was staying and driving like an hour away to another place that I was staying. Because there's like different, I don't know what they call them, I mean, towns, if you will, you know, throughout Bali. Like,
Villages.
it's not, right. It's not like, oh, you know, Ubud,
Yes.
Kuta. Where else did I go? Kuta is like the place that's like closest to the airport. Anyway.
What did you call me?
Cool. We're going back there. But anyway, I think that I met some other solo gal travelers. And of course, they were all like, oh, how long are you staying? I'm like, oh, 11 days. They're like, that's it? And mind you, here in the States, everybody was like, how long are you going? I'm like, 11 days. They're like, what?
That's a long time.
That's so long,
it's
you
not
know?
enough.
It's not enough.
not
It's not enough. We're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
America's doing it wrong.
If I could just travel for a living, I wish.
I was
love it
just
so much.
saying that yesterday. I was like, that's honestly my dream, is to be able to be anywhere doing what I need to do. It's my dream, and we're gonna make it happen.
Yes, you are.
We're gonna. I just gotta say, like, that whole story, from everything that you have done has been on your own volition. Everything you have done, and you see all the companies. Shorty dropped Tidal, Rock Nation. Like, we're not talking about like some no-name bullshit. Like, you have opened up so many doors for yourself, and that is the biggest thing about you that inspires me. I'm just like, yo, look at what Melissa has done. I got no excuse.
And why am I so hard on myself? Like, I feel like I haven't done enough. Are you not like that with yourself?
I
too?
am. Oh, I am.
We don't give ourselves enough credit.
Ask my boyfriend. He's like, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself for, you know.
I know you do, Alana. I know you so well.
It can be paralyzing. It can be paralyzing more than, you know, the fear, you know. Well, I guess those two things go hand in hand. It's a different type of fear. But I just got to give you all of your flowers, because and doing that, being a single mom, like, are you serious?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Some dudes could never. Okay?
I know.
No, listen.
This is why I'm single.
This is that's a whole other episode. We're gonna need to book another hour to talk about relationships and shit. But that's, we were here to talk about everything that you have accomplished, and what's gonna be next? Melissa pulls up randomly on Instagram with like John Legend and shit, and like Bad Bunny and shit, and what's the other one? Farruko, like just casual, bringing me to the studio with Zion E. Lennox, like. I'm just like, this life. Oh
my God, I forgot I did the Faruka thing.
I didn't.
Right. That's crazy. That was a great moment.
I remember you telling me something about that story that you were there to interview him, but nobody knew that.
Yeah.
And somebody I think was on some like, oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah, yep.
Which is my favorite shit. Shit. What are you doing here? Bitch, the fuck does it look like I'm doing here? You know what I mean? Stupid ass question.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm hoping that what's next will be, really happening. I have something in the works that I'm really excited about. The last record label I was at, BMG, which was really cool. I was working with like Lenny Kravitz and J-Lo, and I'm pushing them to the Latin market. So now
Lenny Kravitz and J-Lo.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And
yes.
That
wild. In fact,
that was really, really cool. But now, like, I think I'm gonna get out of the record label thing, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different, still in the music industry, but just more so helping artists.
Okay.
So, because I feel like that's my lane now, like really helping artists.
Excuse me. I mean, if we go back to Strawberry Blonde, that's what we were.
Right.
That's what we were doing.
Right.
That's what we were doing.
We were discovering talent and putting them on.
And so,
and I still want to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
I mean, that's what got me into radio back at Rutgers, just wanting to put people on. And
Evan wants to go to Rutgers.
He does?
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Scarlet Knights. Rutgers. I'm a knight and a tiger, baby. I'm both.
I forgot you went to Rutgers.
I really want to go and just eat. I want to go there and just eat all the. There's so much good food out there, and I want to. I know it's transformed.
No, but we're gonna work out.
We're gonna work out. We're gonna work out and then eat. Anyway, okay. So I want to ask you.
Yeah.
This might be something other people are wondering now that they've heard so much of your story. What do you think are like the non-negotiable skills people should have right now to succeed as digital marketers?
Okay.
Because you've cultivated these skills on your own. Like you said, you've been in spaces where people went to school for this shit and you're like, nah, I've just done it, and you've just studied the evolution of technology and digital media and whatnot. So yeah, from your point of view.
Research. Just know your shit. Just be, I don't know how, like, you just got to read up on stuff. Like, I'm a big reader. I read books. If I master the craft on my own. So I'll go on YouTube and I'll like research the crap out of it. I'll buy the book. I'll see who the author is and I'll get information about them. I'm just a very big, like, I like looking shit up. I like doing my research. I like going down the rabbit hole, if you will. Right. And I think that's really important to be that detailed with information. Just, whatever it is that you are doing and working on, just submerge yourself wholeheartedly. And I think that that's what's always worked for me, is that I've always been able to know what to look up and how to do my research, So, yeah.
And this is specifically to like digital marketing.
Yes. Because it's changing so much. You have to know.
It changes.
The trends are changing. The people that are important and influencers or whatever is changing. You have to keep abreast of all this information. So it's the best thing you can do for digital marketing is just sign up to the right newsletters, right? Signing up to Google Alerts, right? So that you get it in your inbox at all times, like what's happening, what's changing, right? Finding the people that are in that niche that know their shit and following them on LinkedIn, following them on Twitter, right? Because they're probably tweeting about stuff that is changing.
Yeah.
Right. Signing up to the newsletters for Instagram, for TikTok, for, even your basic social media accounts, because they're always putting news on and talking about the latest update, the newest thing that's coming out. Right.
Yeah. I don't even think about their newsletters. That's crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
So very important, like just knowing where to find your information and making sure that you're digesting it and you give yourself time to read it. So like that's my thing. Every Monday, I'm going through my inbox. I'm looking at the newsletters, what's going on in the marketing world. There's a really cool newsletter. It's called Marketing Brew.
Marketing Brew.
Yes.
BREW?
Yep.
Like coffee.
Yep, like coffee. Amazing
Or
newsletter. Gives you all the top things that are going on in the world, especially when it comes to digital marketing, and things like that.
Okay. Awesome. Last two questions. Last two questions. Since we are an avid learner, is there a book unrelated to marketing or maybe related to marketing that you feel like changed your life?
Changed my life.
Or the way that you thought, something that you read that had a profound paradigm shift, perhaps?
Honestly, The Alchemist.
The Alchemist.
I know
That's
that's
a solid
such a
one.
like standard book.
A little
but
cliche, but we could be cliche. She cute.
No, honestly, that book, and when I first picked it up, I was like, it's not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
And then I read it, I was like, oh, yeah.
I've been meaning
good.
to reread it. I read it,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago at this point. You know who told me to read that book? Joel Ortiz. I think so. He also told me to read Conversations with God,
Okay.
which is not religious, but it was pretty profound. I kind of want to reread. It's a trilogy. It's 3 books. It's a lot. Anyway, it's like 900 pages total. Okay, last question. Then we got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to make like a titty and bounce. If this was your memoir, if you were writing your memoir right now, what would you name this chapter of your life?
Ooh. I would name this chapter my Renaissance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like it.
Because I feel like I'm just getting started, even though I've done so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of always feels that way, huh?
yeah, I'm about to be 40, but
What?
I don't feel
We're
it.
about to be 22? What?
I don't even care. Yes, I'm about to be 40. So what?
So what?
You know,
40's the new-
I hate this stigma of ageism, of women being
know.
old. Men are mature.
We
Women
talked
are
about
old.
that. We talked about that. You
You
were
know?
like, yeah, we talked about that. But
So look at fucking Sofia Vergara, 53 years old.
listen,
That's how I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
all of that. Listen, even if I need a little help, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, okay?
Oh, I see.
A little nip tuck, you know? A little sun, but we'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, all right? We'll cross that. Maybe the plastic surgeon that you did the social media, maybe he's still in business. Get a discount. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Okay,
How do you
Melissa.
not know I didn't use that discount, right?
Oh, shit. Only one coupon code. There's only one. Damn it, because I didn't do my research. Okay, well, we got to get out of here, my love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I had a great time.
So
We
honored.
talked so much.
We talked so much, and
I hope you people can keep up because we were all over the place.
we were all over the place. It's fine. That's why we do clips. That's why we're going to edit some clips, and that's it. Where can people stay abreast to what you're doing?
I knew you were going to catch that. So, Melissa Sweets everywhere. MELISSASWEETS. So,
That's it.
pa que sepa.
She spelled it out, so no excuses, okay? Follow her. You already know what time it is. You can follow me, AlanaJ.tv, or at Act Up with AJ. And on that note, it's a wrap, baby. Love you. Bye. Mwah.